Another week in the book. I'm sorry for any buzzing or banging in the background. We got a little bit of construction going on. The first book I read through this week was The Future, and this one's been sitting on my shelf for a little while, and even before that I had picked it up and put it down several times in bookstores before taking it home. I honestly hadn't realized why that was until about halfway through, and it was because I wasn't expecting it to be so optimistic. It talks about very real issues that we're dealing with today, things like climate change, things like pandemics, things like degrading infrastructure. And while I do like a lot of dark topics in my reading, I'm also reading a lot of the time for escapism as well. I found I really enjoyed a lot of the thought experiments that this book put me through as I was reading, and while I had a lot of fun with it, I was a little bit disappointed with the ending. It made for a nice story, tied up all the loose ends very nicely, however, was not something that could be applied in real life, which left the story a little bit impotent because it was dealing with issues that are happening in real life. However, I would still highly recommend it for those thought experiments that it puts you through and a lot of reframing of stories that you probably think you know very well but have never looked at in this light. Next up was A Suffer for This. This book is absolutely an experience and one that I highly recommend. It is a gloriously raw and real exploration of how messy humans really are, the harm that we do to ourselves, to each other, whatever our intentions may be. It's a glorious examination of what it feels like to age, what it means to age, what it means to mature, and the sacrifices that we make and the things that we gain for doing so. There were a number of times where it becomes difficult to remember that this is a work of fiction because it feels so brutally honest. I absolutely could not put this one down. Go get it. Go find it. Check your local library. As always, I have a longer write-up of all of this available on my website at writing.hallidaynelson.com, and I want to hear what y'all are reading as well. I want to know if you're having fun with it, because if so, I want to add it to my ever-expanding TBR as well. Happy reading.